Let us appreciate them as they get out of the stage, as they exit the stage. Under class 1017H, Concordia Secondary School from Mombasa at the Coast Region, titled Ngonda. This is a cultural Giriama folk dance performed by men and women during celebrations such as weddings, birth of a child, and other happy occasions. Welcome.
stage next is Narok High School from Narok County, Rift Valley region. Valley region with a Maasai folk dance entitled Eunoto dance. This is a traditional Maasai folk dance marking the transition of Moran from warriorhood to adulthood. Welcome, Your Excellency. Welcome, Narok High School.
Let's give them a round of applause. Coming to you live from the red carpet, I'm here with my co-MC, Mary, and we're here to host a friendly conversation. Mary, in comparison to your time in Uganda, what differences have you spotted in Kenya?
Besides the fact that both the East African countries are gracefully beautiful, I have discovered that Kenya is a country that greatly loves music, and I am very well motivated by that, and I hope that Uganda will be like that someday. MC Bibiana, what is your expectation as you come to Uganda on the 19th for the music festival?
Well, my expectation going to Uganda, of course, is a friendly area, a place where I don't feel choked to be myself, a place where I can be free.
Okay, that is exactly what Uganda is. And about that, I would love to ask you, how do you Kenyans gracefully manage to make it to be so united and so connected in such occasions like this one?
I feel like it's the overall love for music, the love for music that we share, the love for music that we all participate in. It's really what brings us together.
That is very beautiful. And that love for music in Uganda is expressed, but we promise to reach this level. Since we are all East Africans, we shall learn from each other. And now, Your Excellency, before I go further to introduce the next team on stage, I would love to thank you for giving us an opportunity as MCs, together with my co-MCs, for handling this graceful occasion that you have graced with your presence and that of the First Lady. And these are my co-MCs before you. Thank you so much, Your Excellency. And now, Your Excellency, not the last, but the last and not the least presentation is one of the First Lady's favorite songs, Amilo, being presented by the Vihiga Boys High School from the Vihiga County in the Western region. This is a song originally by the Tabule about love, attraction, and emotional conflict involving a woman called Amilo. Your Excellency, enjoy. Thank you so much.
You can go to your seat. Wapi makofi, tuwapigie makofi tafadhali. Wonderful, wonderful. We may take our seats. Your Excellency Dr. William Samoei Ruto, President and Commander-in-Chief of the Kenya Defence Forces, Mama wa Taifa Bi Rachel Ruto, Naibu wa Rais Profesa Abraham Kithure Kindiki, Mheshimiwa Julius Migoso Gamba, Waziri wa Elimu, makatibu wote waliofika mahali hapa wakiongozwa na Katibu wa Elimu ya Msingi Mheshimiwa John Ololtua, Gavana wa Bungoma Mheshimiwa Ken Lusaka, wabunge wote, Vice Chancellors, mwenyekiti pamoja na kamati ya Kenya Music Festival, walimu pamoja na shule zote zilizotuandalia burudani safi siku ya leo. Hebu tuwapigie makofi tafadhali kwa nguvu zaidi. Your Excellency, I'm sure we agree that talent does not wait for you to become an adult. It shows up in school uniform and it shows up in school shoes. And we appreciate His Excellency the President together with the government that we are finding a healthy balance between academic and talent that may not necessarily be found in a textbook. And we must admit that we are finding a delicate balance as we look at, as a country, the conversation beyond 2030. We agree that as people of Kenya, we are finding a good balance between talent and academics, which may not necessarily be found in a textbook. If talent was a currency, I believe we have seen future millionaires right here. Wapi makofi yao tafadhali? Tuwapigie makofi. And at this point, we are still having the stage being prepared for us to go to the speech session. And allow me to invite the governor of Bungoma County to give us a welcome. But first of all, welcome sir. Tumpige makofi tafadhali akija, Mheshimiwa Ken Lusaka. But I'll request that you start by recognizing the leaders that we have here. We have members of parliament and other leaders that you can recognize before we progress with our speeches today. Karibu.
Your Excellency, Dr. William Samoei Ruto, President of the Republic of Kenya and Commander-in-Chief of the Defence Forces, our First Lady, Mama Rachel Ruto, Deputy President, Your Excellency, the Deputy President, Professor Kithure Kindiki, our Minister for Education, Migos, other ministers present, permanent secretaries present, members of Parliament, Speaker of our County Assembly, MCS, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. Your Excellency, before I make welcoming remarks, allow me to introduce the members of Parliament who are here. Please, I'll ask you to be upstanding, and other leaders, I'll also introduce other leaders, local leaders, and I think the DP will introduce the national government leaders. Honorable members of Parliament, maybe you could come this side so that the... This is John Makali, the host member of Parliament, Kantui constituency. Say something.
Your Excellency, the President of the Republic of Kenya, Your Excellency, the First Lady, Your Excellency, the Deputy President, members of Cabinet President, Governor Kenneth Lusaka, my colleagues, members of Parliament, all the dignitaries present, the participants, all the officials of the Kenya Music Festival, the 98th edition, good afternoon. Let me take this opportunity as a member of Parliament for Kandui constituency, on behalf of the great people of Kandui constituency, to say, Your Excellency, karibu sana to Kandui constituency, the home of Nzoia Sugar Girls Comprehensive School and Kibabi University, whom you have seen on the stage here. We are always pleasured, Your Honor, Your Excellency, to have you here. And we are very grateful, Your Excellency, because we have seen innovation. We have seen very good themes here, unity of purpose, unity of our region, and everything else. Your Excellency, nasema karibu sana, and on behalf of the great people of Kandui, karibu sana. And all the participants, thank you, Bungoma and Kandui County has boomed business-wise. I think if you see these people not clapping very much, they are worried about what they are going to lose because they have been reaping big out of this particular festival. Your Excellency, asanteni sana. Those ones who have come back, who have been here the last 2 weeks, karibuni sana to Kandui, Bungoma County and Bungoma Town. Asanteni sana.
Thank you. I allowed him to speak because he's our host member of Parliament. The next member of Parliament is John Waluke, MP for Sirisia. The next,
Your Excellency, the President of the Republic of Kenya and Commander-in-Chief of the Defense Forces, Excellency, Madam Rachel Ruto, the Deputy President, all protocols observed. My names are John Koi Waluke. Thank you.
Next is Mheshimiwa Didmas Barasa, MP Kimilili. Next is Mheshimiwa Dan Wanyama, MP Webuye West. Next is Mheshimiwa Jared Okello, MP Nyando. Your Excellency, allow me to, we have apologies from the Speaker of the National Assembly is out of the country and our Senator who is also out of the country. Allow me to make the following few remarks. Thank you, Your Excellency, the President, for gracing this gala, for choosing Bungoma, for choosing us. Thank you for this national honor and entrusting us with the most finest. 14 days ago, this county opened its arms and its ears to the nation. Choirs from every corner of Kenya came to Kibabi University. They came with drums, they came with strings, they came with voices trained in classrooms, in churches, in villages across the country. I had the privilege of sitting through some of those performances, and Your Excellency, the President, what struck me most is not only the music, it is the children and the performance. A child from Coast sharing a meal with a child from the Rift Valley. A child from North laughing with a child from Nyanza. No one asked where the other was from. No one asked what language their home spoke. They simply mingled freely, easily, and if the lines we adults draw did not exist. Your Excellency, the President, this is the Kenya that we want. The psalmists tell us that let everything that has breath praise the Lord, not everything that has wealth, not everything that has status, everything that has breath. Music does not ask where you come from. It only asks that you show up and that you sing. That is what this festival has done since 1st of August. And it's fitting that the man who leads this nation would come here this morning and afternoon to close this chapter. Your Excellency, the President, Bungoma thanks you, the performers thank you, and if those children could speak with one voice, I believe they would tell you this. They did not come here only to compete. They came here to belong to one another, and this morning they did it. Your Excellency, as a county, we are greatly honored. The last 14 days, we have seen business boom. All hotels were filled from Kimilili to Chwele and everywhere. When people are asking why we have a state lodge, now they can see what it means. The whole republic is here. Your Excellency, it's now my great honor to welcome the chairman of Kenya Music Festival, Professor Ngala, to come and make his remarks, and welcome the Deputy President. Thank you, sir.
The President of the Republic of Kenya, the Commander-in-Chief of the Kenya Defense Forces, and the patron of Kenya Music Festival, Your Excellency, Dr. William Samoei Ruto. Your Excellency, the First Lady of the Republic of Kenya, Your Excellency, the Deputy President of the Republic of Kenya, the Cabinet Secretary, the Principal Secretaries, Governors, and all leaders, students, staff, present here today. May I greet you, good afternoon. Your Excellency, before I proceed, allow me to just briefly introduce the members of the National Executive Committee here in present. May you rise. Please let us appreciate the members of the Executive Committee. Before they sit down, allow me to specifically and specially make mention of Madam, please tokea mbele kidogo, Madam, the Executive Secretary of Kenya Music Festival, Janet Chebet Langat, who has been shouldering all these things. Please be seated. Allow me, Your Excellency, sir, also to bring to you the national adjudicators. Where you are, please quickly rise. 49 of them did an excellent job during the last so many days. Your Excellency, sir, on this specific day, the children of Kenya, herein present, will not forget that on this day, you opened the gates of your residence and allowed them in. They will never forget. Your Excellency, sir, we are 98 years old, just 2 years short of centenary celebrations. But what is more important to us is that the period between 2022, and I want to repeat, 2022 and 2026 has seen phenomenal growth and development in the field of music in Kenya. Your Excellency, the President, we have enjoyed this whole exercise. The children of Kenya thronged Kibabi University. 143,000 of them enjoyed themselves. Your Excellency, another 170 from the neighboring Uganda also joined us so that we can come together and do this. We have about 3 things we have learned during this entire period. One, that it's important to have a concerted effort towards the growth of creative economy. These children have also learned that it's important to come together as a nation. We are talking about one nation, and we're talking about national cohesion. Your Excellency, during this entire period, we have also learned that CBE, competency-based education, is working in Kenya. Because this Kenya Music Festival we are talking about is the nexus, is the connection between theory taught in class and the practice that we have seen here today. Truly, CBE is working in Kenya. Your Excellency, the President, wewe ni baba yetu. Tumekuja kwako baba wetu. So, Your Excellency, tuko na ombi moja mbili. Financing of this whole program requires quite a bit of money. We have already discussed this with Your Excellency. May you find favor to just grant us a budget line to be able to run this activity in the days to come. And Your Excellency, sir, it's also very important that there are people here and outside who have worked very hard. And wangependa tu mtu akishaandika jina yake, jina ikiisha kama Frederick Ngala Kalausi, anaongeza hapo HSC, anaongeza hapo OGW kidogo. Your Excellency, wanaomba sana. Now, having said that, allow me to read this. I wish to thank you in person for supporting us. So far, we have promoted, you have promoted over 1,000 teachers. We are witnesses to the fact that you mean what you say. We know that you are a pragmatic and transformational leader. Indeed, you are industrious. You are focused, God-fearing, results-oriented president. Your Excellency, William Samoei Ruto Daktari, may the God of Israel, the God of Jacob, bless you and your family abundantly. Thank you, sir.
One more round of applause for the chair. At this point, allow me to invite the Cabinet Secretary for Education, Honorable Julius.
Your Excellency, I forgot to recognize members of the County Assembly whom we work with. Please be upstanding, led by their Speaker, Emmanuel Situma, and members of the County Government of Bungoma, be upstanding. Deputy Governor, thank you so much. Thank you, Your Excellency, sir.
Thank you, Your Excellency. Your Excellency, the President of the Republic of Kenya, Your Excellency, the First Lady, Your Excellency, the Deputy President, Your Excellency, the Governor of Bungoma. Allow me, Your Excellency, because of time, to ride on the protocols that are already established and take this opportunity to thank you most sincerely for welcoming and hosting us here on this 98th Music Festival. We don't take it for granted, especially because we know how busy your schedule is. Having said that, Your Excellency, allow me to introduce the government executive officers and officials who are here briefly. I'll just call their names, they'll stand and be seen by the team that is here. The first one is the PS John Olotua, PS Basic Education, Ministry of Education. PS Harry Kimtai, Mining. PS Susan Mangeli, MCME. Thank you. PS Karen Agengo, Children's Services. PS Dr. Jane Imbuga, Public Services. And PS Mukwana of Industry. Also accompanying us, Your Excellency, are my cabinet colleagues, led by CS Oparanya, Cooperatives, CS James of Wandai, Energy, and Deborah Barasa of Environment. Your Excellency, this particular festival has had participants totaling 143,000, rising out of 140 that we had last year, including teams from our neighboring country, Uganda. Your Excellency, you will agree with us that the participation and the performance here today was top class. It was top class because of the contribution of the reforms that we are undertaking in the education sector and our competency-based education, which has sports and arts as an independent pathway, therefore ensuring that that particular pathway is part and parcel of our education mainstream system. We thank you for these reforms because when you came in, you formed the Presidential Working Party that came up with programs or with suggestions on how we need to align our education system to be ready and available and to be able to compete in the global world in terms of talent and skills. Further, Your Excellency, you've increased funding in this particular sector, rising from 502 billion in 2022 to the current 784.5 billion, a massive increase. Your Excellency, you've not stopped at that. You have proceeded to guide us to introduce the legal statutes and the legal proposal bills that we require to ensure that our CBE is anchored in our law, so that going forward, it is part and parcel of our education system to avoid situations where it can be written off or can be dealt with negatively by those who may not have understood the basis under which it came into being. Your Excellency, out of this, quite recently, we've submitted a number of bills to Parliament to ensure that we have this particular system anchored in law. In that space, we have a bill that is pending now in Parliament that is going to be discussed, and I'm happy with the members of Parliament because it was read this last Tuesday. The Tertiary Education Placement and Funding Bill. This is a bill that is very unique and that will revolutionize the higher education sector. And this is a bill that you yourself championed because you asked yourself when you came into power that most of our universities were in debt because the system that we were using for funding was not fit for purpose. We introduced another system that was student-centered, but there was a particular challenge to it, that we were funding parents instead of funding students. In other words, we were asking ourselves, does this parent have the capacity to fund the student? Instead of asking ourselves, does this student or this career that we are funding become possible for this particular funding to be given to them in order for them in the future to be able to pay back? Having moved that philosophical needle, Your Excellency, from us, instead of funding parents, we are funding students. It became possible for this particular funding model to become an investment and bankable. Out of that, it is now possible for us to get the resources from our education stakeholders to ensure that each and every student who joins our tertiary institutions has capacity or is able to undertake the course for which they've gotten, notwithstanding the background where they come from. So the funding in the tertiary sector, once this bill becomes law, is going to support all the students who are admitted to our tertiary institutions, from universities to TVETs, to KMTC, to TTCs. So we thank you, and we thank you once again for that leadership. Your Excellency, the issues relating to harmony between the employees in this sector and the students, and to ensure that we do not have disruptions in the education sector, you gave us a duty to ensure that we have created a system where we'll be able to pay off all the outstanding CBA arrears for our teachers, for our university lecturers, and for our workers in the universities. That is KUSU, UASU, KUDEA, NAT, KUPET. I'm happy to report, Your Excellency, that out of the arrears that existed between the financial year 2017-2021, that CBA for that period, and 2021-2025, a total of 6.8 billion. That CBA arrears has been released to the universities as of yesterday. This ensures that we have harmony in the sector so that our students remain in school, our learners remain in school, our lecturers remain in class, our teachers remain in class. So we thank you for that provision. Additionally, Your Excellency, you gave us instructions to ensure that capitation to our schools reaches our schools before the schools open. Starting this year, 2026, we have, in the first term, released those resources before the schools opened. Second term, we have done the same. And this third term, the funds have arrived and they are being released to the schools to ensure that when students report on the 24th of this month, the resources are in place. All that taken in totality is what is helping us to ensure that all our students are able to do what they are able to do best, so that they are not disrupted in their education. And this is because of your visionary leadership. This vision is led by thinking, Your Excellency. And this is a thinking that you have introduced the platform for us to have a conversation for the 2060 vision. Without that vision, we would be fumbling in the dark. And Your Excellency, I want to say this. There are people who don't understand that we need to have that discussion. There are people who think that the students from vulnerable families must remain behind, must not study the courses that they require. There are people in this country who think that we must continue living with our animals in our rooms. There are people in this country who think that we cannot have universal health for everybody. The privileged think that other people should not be having what they have. There are people who think that infrastructure in this country belongs to certain people. I want to ask Kenyans that we should not board that kind of thinking. We must board the thinking of us being able to move to the first world led by His Excellency, the President of the Republic of Kenya. And for your information, ladies and gentlemen, Singapore is a symbol of the first world. Kenya is not moving to Singapore. There are other people who think that we want to move to Singapore as a country. It is a symbol of what the first world is. With those remarks, Your Excellency, allow me to invite the Deputy President to make his remarks and invite you. Thank you so much, na Mungu awabariki.
Kenya hoye! Kenya hoye! Mheshimiwa Rais wa Jamhuri ya Kenya William Ruto, Mama wa Taifa Bi Rachel Ruto, Wakenya wenzangu na pia wenzetu ambao wamefika hapa kutoka nchi jirani ya Uganda. Mr. President, allow me to say two things before I invite you. The first one is to acknowledge how far we've come as a country in the manner in which today music, the arts, the creatives are not just part of the experience in our schools, but music, the arts, and the creatives are part and parcel of the curriculum in our schools. Your Excellency, as we continue implementing the competence-based curriculum under your leadership, it is gratifying to see students and pupils not only participating in music as an extracurricular activity, but also studying music for purposes of career and occupation into the future. Therefore, what this means, Your Excellency, is that we are recognizing that talent in music, the arts and the creatives is as good as talent in mathematics, the sciences, the humanities, and all the other fields that are available within the spectrum of knowledge. I remember with sadness, and I know the adults in the room here will agree with me, those that were fortunate to go to school, the many talented classmates and schoolmates who had great talent in athletics and music, but because our education system in the past did not appreciate the place of these talents in terms of nation building and economic development, those old classmates, schoolmates, never made it in life. Many of them, with their great talents, ended up living their adulthood in poverty, while God had placed in their hands great talent which would have taken them far, the same way engineers, mathematicians, lawyers, doctors would use their talent to prosper. So, Your Excellency, you are helping us correct a historical mistake that we collectively did as a nation. The second and last thing, Your Excellency, by way of remark, is to appreciate also that into the future, music, the arts, and the creatives are going to help us develop the right national software that will take our nation to the vision of a new Kenya beyond 2030. Listening to the children and pupils and students who have participated here, from toddlers to university students and teachers, music can be a powerful tool for promoting positive values, for promoting patriotism, national unity. And these are the values that will provide the software that will help us now use the infrastructure we are creating and the other aspects of transformation of our pillars of economic development. The software that will take us to the first world includes hard work, integrity, patriotism, and all the other things that music, through a festival like this one, is promoting. And therefore, Your Excellency, this is an important nation-building exercise and activity, as important as an infrastructure conference would be, or a conference to discuss energy, manufacturing, agricultural transformation, etc., etc. Muziki ni fire, si fire. Muziki ni fire, si fire. So, Mr. President, as I invite you, I want to applaud those organizations in the public sector, private sector, who continue to support and supplement government financing for this festival. I have seen Equity Bank here, from private sector, among others, but I've also seen items here sponsored by the Central Bank of Kenya. I want to appreciate these organizations and hope that many more public sector and private sector organizations will see the value of this activity to what they do and to a stable country, to a prosperous country, to a wealthy country, even as we look into the future. With those many remarks, Your Excellency, Mr. President, I want to request you with humility to come and address us. Rais Ruto aendelee asiendelee? Rais Ruto ni fire si fire? Aendelee asiendelee? Welcome, Mr. President.
Thank you very much. Please let's take our seats. Asanteni sana, tunaweza kuketi chini. Kwanza ningetaka kuchukua nafasi hii kushukuru viongozi na wananchi wa hapa Bungoma kwa kukaribisha Wakenya wenzao kutoka sehemu zote za taifa letu la Kenya. Watu wa Bungoma, asanteni sana. Viongozi wa Bungoma, asanteni sana. Nataka pia nichukue nafasi hii niwashukuru majirani zetu. Our friends, brothers and sisters from Uganda, we appreciate your coming, your participation, and what you have brought to enrich this great event. Distinguished performers, honorable members, learners, teachers, and parents, ladies and gentlemen. 2 days ago, the most important speech at the launch of the National Conversation on Kenya Beyond 2030 was not delivered by the President, a cabinet secretary, or a development expert. It was delivered by a 7-year-old boy, Adrian Kweth Ombuni. Adrian was unequivocal about the future he wants for himself and other young citizens like those gathered here today. A Kenya that is safe and happy. with good schools, reliable hospitals, clean water, and jobs for our young people. I listened to Adrian as he addressed us at the KICC, and this is what he said. And by 2063, when independent Kenya turns 100, Adrian will be in his early 40s. The Kenya we are imagining is not abstract to him or even to his age mates who are in this auditorium. The Kenya we are imagining is theirs. It is the country in which they will want to work, raise their families, and pursue their dreams. That is why the conversation about Kenya's future cannot be held by adults on behalf of the young. It must be held with them and by them. And therefore, I invite every young person in school, in college, working, and everywhere else to be front and center, left and right of this conversation. It is in that context that we gather for the state concert of the 98th Kenya Music Festival. I am here not merely to speak to you, but also to listen. Adrian spoke from a podium. You have spoken from the stage through poetry, song, and dance. The message is the same. Kenya's young people know the country they want, and they are already helping to build it. You have articulated your hopes, laid bare your frustrations, illuminated our blind spots, challenged our conscience, and lifted our spirits. You have not just entertained us, you have helped us and held up a mirror to our nation and invited us to imagine what Kenya can become. I listened to the young people from Nzoia right here when they sang their taarab. I listened to the young girls from Muteteni and all the other participants. Distinguished performers, somewhere among you may be the next Bien, Njirai, Nyanshinki, or Lupita Nyong'o. A Kenyan who will one day command the world stage and screens alongside artists such as Burna Boy, Thames, and Tyler. Jirai, for example, spent her school years participating in this festival and learning classical music. Today, she is a singer, songwriter, and a producer whose work reaches far beyond the school stage. Among you too are tomorrow's instrumentalists, and I saw many on this stage, sound engineers, lighting designers, intellectual property lawyers, and production company owners. A generation ago, a musician needed a recording label, a physical album, and a radio station to be heard. Today, a song recorded in Bungoma can reach Nairobi, Lagos, London, or Sao Paulo within seconds. The opportunity is real. The global recorded music industry earned nearly 32 billion US dollars. That is about 4 trillion Kenya shillings last year. Almost 70% of it from streaming. In sub-Saharan Africa, recorded music revenue grew by more than 15% to 120 million US dollars, or approximately 16 billion Kenya shillings. These figures carry a clear message. Music is not only culture and entertainment. It is also commerce, intellectual property, employment, and export income. It is one of the ways nations position themselves in the world's imagination. Therefore, as we discuss Kenya beyond 2030, the creative economy cannot be an afterthought. It must be central to our plans. We must ask, what would it take for a talented child from Bungoma, Turkana, or Garissa to build a secure livelihood from their gift of music? What institutions, skills, and financing are required? How do we ensure that our artists own their work and are fairly paid whenever their property is used? Our education system must therefore do more than prepare children to produce correct answers. It must help every child discover the question their life is equipped to answer. That is the promise of competence-based education and training. We are moving from an education system that asks, what do you remember? To one that asks, what can you do with what you know? That is what competence-based education and training is all about. And I am a very solid believer in competence-based education and training. I see it in our children. I see it in my own daughter, Mia, that she appreciates stuff better than I did when I was her age. And it is because of the kind of education that she is going through. This system is founded on access, equity, quality, and relevance, because a child in the city and one on the slopes of Mount Elgon must have an equal opportunity to discover their talent and compete with the best in the world. That is why, even in a difficult fiscal environment, we have made education a top budget priority. Since 2022, we have undertaken the largest teacher recruitment program in our country's history, hiring 100,000 teachers in 3 years and another 20,000 this year. We have also accelerated the expansion of classrooms, student hostels, laboratories, and other educational facilities across the country. Why? Because education is the most consequential form of empowerment and the most equalizing aspect of any human endeavor. Under the competence-based education, music, drama, sports, and arts are not marginal activities to be funded from whatever remains after everything else. They are recognized career pathways. You know very well that this was not the case. When I sat down with the Presidential Working Party to realign our education, and when we had very serious challenges, when parents were asking us questions about their transition, the transition of their children from one grade to another, where is junior school going to be? What is going to happen to senior school? I remember very well that the Presidential Working Party had robust conversation with me and my team. And we made the conscious decision that because our children are gifted differently, we must make it absolutely clear that all our children have a stake in Kenya's future, and no pathway was superior to the other. The children who are good in mathematics are as good as the children who are good in art, and all of them must be given an equal chance. And that is why, as we employ teachers, as we plan our budgets, we have made sure that going into the future, all pathways are funded sufficiently. Professor Ngala, the chair of this music festival, alluded earlier that this festival has been treated in the past as an extracurricular activity, and funding has not been predictable. I want to assure Professor Ngala that going forward, this festival, our children who are in the art and creative space will have a budget line like all other pathways going into the future. And that this music festival, the festival on drama and film, will now, going into the future, be funded by the government of Kenya, because this is no longer extracurricular, this is squarely in the curricula of Kenya. And we are developing talent and future professionals from this pathway. Over the past few years, we have undertaken the hard work of building Kenya's creative economy. Our objective is simple: to make talent pay and create sustainable opportunities for those working in the sector. Today, I want to highlight areas in which we have made progress and indicate what comes next. First, I directed that music royalties be collected and distributed through the eCitizen digital platform because our artists deserve a system that is transparent, that is accountable, and that works for them. In the past, collection of royalties was a game of guesswork. It was shrouded in mystery. It was opaque, and artists could not follow where their royalties were. Today, on the digital platform, they can follow. It is transparent, and we have made sure that at the very least 70% of the revenues raised go to the artists themselves. My office, the Kenya Copyright Board, eCitizen, and industry stakeholders have implemented the system. Royalties are now being collected through eCitizen, with 70% protected for distribution to artists and other copyright owners. We committed to move beyond merely celebrating our artists to ensuring that they are paid. To advance this commitment, the Copyright Bill and the Creative Economy Bill are now before Parliament. I urge members of Parliament who are here and their colleagues who are not here to consider the bills that we have submitted to Parliament. And I want to thank my good friend Dan, who is the chair of Sports in Parliament, for sponsoring these bills. Thank you very much, Dan. To strengthen the protection of our creatives and accelerate the formalization of the creative economy. Let me explain a bit what the Copyright Amendment Bill is going to do. I had a meeting with artists, and many artists because of the nature of the law, were exploited by people who come from outside Kenya. Their work, their talent was used elsewhere, and they did not get the money for which they had worked hard for. We are now changing the bill so that it is not possible for anybody to extort from our Kenyan artists, and that the law of Kenya becomes final on the remuneration and the money that is due to our artists. I want to commend the artists who brought this up to me, and I want to assure you that working with Parliament, we will protect your work, we will protect your talent, and you will earn from your talent. The second issue why we are changing the law on the creative economy is because the creative economy has operated as an informal sector for a long time. We are now making it formalized because in any case, it's now a clear pathway in our education system. We expect professionals to emerge from this field. We expect business people, producers, songwriters, and many other professionals from this space. And therefore, legislation must provide for them to operate in a space where their rights is guaranteed by law. Thirdly, during the last Kenya Drama Festival state concert, we launched Somaplay, a Ministry of Education platform that brings education and entertainment together. This year's Kenya Music Festival has been streamed on Somaplay, enabling parents, teachers, and Kenyans everywhere to watch our young people perform. We will expand the platform to include drama, sport, educational material, and safe entertainment for our children, while creating new opportunities for Kenyan creatives to earn more income. We have already worked with Meta to open Facebook monetization to Kenyan creators. Somaplay provides another avenue through which their talent can reach audiences and generate income. Number 4, as the performances on this stage have demonstrated, Kenya does not lack talent. Our challenge is to discover and to develop. The government of Kenya, therefore, working with the private sector, will establish the Kenya National Talent Search to identify talent and innovation in music, comedy, acting, poetry, film, dance, sports, and other fields throughout the year in every part of Kenya. The State Department for Youth, working in collaboration with the Creative Economy Office and with the support of Sports Fund, must now move with urgency to roll out the program without further delay. The Deputy President of the Republic of Kenya, who coordinates between the national government and the counties, will ensure that this receives the full support and coordination of government at both levels. To align the national talent search with our most urgent national priority, I propose that its inaugural theme be Kenya Beyond 2030. We want to listen to the youth. We want to know what they think about Kenya Beyond 2030. Beginning next year, school creative events shall also carry this theme. Let our young people use their creativity to imagine Kenya's future development. I look forward to personally recognizing winners of the national talent at the Kalasha International Film and TV Awards. There is one group of young Kenyans we must recognize. our Kenyan scientists and innovators. I say so because as a scientist myself, I see what they do, the innovation that they have brought. In fact, I did receive some who had participated in a global event in China and became #1. The same way we recognize the talent in music, in drama, I think it is time that we brought our scientists and innovators on board because they make a huge contribution to the future of our nation. Our schools have held the annual science and innovation competition since 1962, yet the winners have never been given a chance like the one we have here today. That is going to change. Effective next year, the Ministry of Education must bring the winners of the annual Kenya Science and Engineering Fair to an event, a state event like the one we have here for music and all the others. I want to meet them, see what they have built, and hear their ideas. Above all, I want them to know that their country believes in them and also values them. Ladies and gentlemen, thousands of performers have come to Bungoma from every part of our republic, bringing different languages, costumes, and traditions. Yet, standing together, they are unmistakably Kenyan. I have seen from northern Kenya in Wajir, from Isiolo, from all the way in the Coast Province, in Taita Taveta, from Kilifi, and all the other parts of Kenya, from Siaya. I saw from Nandi County, seen from Turkana County. Seeing them here in Bungoma is very heartwarming, that these young people are discovering the corners of their country. And when I was asked by my young interviewer there why this event was in Bungoma and not in Nairobi, the reason is simple, that we are one nation. Bungoma is as good as Nairobi. Wajir is as central as Kisumu. And we must believe in ourselves and believe in our country. And there is no better way for us to do this than for our children to lead the way. For them to know there is Kenya beyond their neighborhoods. There is Kenya beyond their family. There is Kenya beyond their community. And there is Kenya beyond their village. That is how we weave the country into our diverse communities, cultures, traditions, but weave it into one strong, united, and prosperous nation. How better to begin that journey than to do what we are doing here in Bungoma today. So to all our children, from wherever you have come from, this is your home. This is part of your village here in Bungoma. It doesn't matter how far you've come from. When you are in Bungoma, you are at home. I say so on behalf of the governor of Bungoma and all the leaders here and all the citizens of the people of Bungoma. And that is why the President of Kenya also has a home here, because this is Kenya. And listening to all our young people and the music and the culture, I am reminded that music and culture is a very powerful tool. It tells us where we've come from, reminds us that we belong to one another, and gives us the confidence to meet the world without losing ourselves. I thank the organizing committee, adjudicators, teachers, and parents. Above all, I congratulate the performers. Winning is gratifying, but the deep victory lies in finding the courage to step onto the stage and make your voice heard. The CS for Education has informed us about the reforms that we are undertaking in the education space. I am very, very proud of the steps that we have made because, as I said, education, the opportunity to learn, is the single most powerful tool of transformation of our society. It is the reason why we have now 7 pieces of legislation before Parliament to align our education properly so that we are certain, we are sure we have a legal foundation, a constitutional provision to make sure that our education is not only accessible, but it is also relevant, and that every child has an opportunity and no child in Kenya is left behind. You are all aware that we had shortages of teachers and it undermined our education. I want to thank the Kenyan public for providing the resources for us to hire more teachers. You all are aware that we had challenges in learning spaces. Again, I want to thank the people of Kenya for providing resources for us to build an extra 23,000 classrooms so that all our children have a place to learn. You also know that we had challenges with the funding, especially of our university students and TVET and KMTC. We have enhanced resources, but we need to align it properly. Again, it is the reason why we have put together the funding and the placement of our students so that as we place every student, we also know where funding is going to come from to make sure that every student placed has the requisite funding to complete their course. In the past, there was a different body placing students, and there was a different body looking for their funding. And the disconnect brought about very serious challenges. Some of the students placed had to change courses. Some of the students placed did not get the requisite funding, and therefore they did not make it. The reason why the higher education placement and funding bill is in Parliament is so that we are sure and certain that every child in Kenya placed will also have the funding to complete their course. The earlier model made it the responsibility of the parent to make sure that their children completed the course. Now we are placing that responsibility on government. And we are saying that a student must do the course for which they have chosen, and they have the qualifications to do it. Irrespective of whether their parents have the money for that course or not, the government must make sure that a student going to do medicine or engineering does not change to do another course because their parent cannot afford the course of engineering or the course in medicine. And therefore, it is not the parent who is in class, it is the student. Therefore, learning in our higher education should not be pegged on the ability of the parent. It should be on the ability of the student. So long as the student has the qualifications to do whatever course they want to do, medicine, engineering, music, film, art, whatever, we must give them that opportunity because we want to build a wholesome community. Kenya now needs your voice in another arena. We have begun a national conversation about the country we intend to build beyond 2030. Do not leave that conversation to leaders and politicians, experts, or even adults. It is your life being discussed, your country being designed, and your future being decided. Like Adrian, I talked about him earlier, tell us what kind of education you need, what opportunities you seek, how technology should serve you, how Kenya can discover your talent wherever it is found, and how we should protect and reward those who create. Do not merely ask what Kenya will do for your generation. Tell us what your generation is prepared to do beginning today for Kenya. I am very happy with this occasion. Thank you very much for all those who participated, including our good people from the neighboring country of Uganda. I am happy that some Kenyan students will be going on a reciprocal visit to Uganda. You have all our support going into the future. There are close to 30 something institutions, especially schools and colleges participating in this event today. And those are the institutions that did the best. We want to say congratulations. Tuwapigie makofi jameni. And I am asking the Ministry of Education, as a show of gratitude and an appreciation of your commitment, hard work, and talent, the Ministry of Education will provide 5 million shillings for every institution and every school that has participated here, so that you can improve on some of the infrastructure that will support these creatives going into the future. So, Bwana Waziri na timu yako, pangana na hawa watu ili mashule, colleges ambazo wameperform hapa leo, kila shule tuwapatie 5 milioni waweze kushughulika na kujenga foundation ambaye itafanya music and the creative space to improve. Mwisho kabisa nasema asanteni sana kwa sababu bado tuko na shughuli ingine. Mimi nawatakia heri. Mkirudi nyumbani, tafadhali msalimie wazazi wenu, msalimie mashule yenu. To my good people, I heard somebody being interviewed. They said they come from the. You said what? The University of Nairobi, where I am an alumni myself. And to all our other universities, let me say, we wish you guys well. Carry our greetings to Kibabii University, Jomo Kenyatta University, and all the other universities that are participating, to all the teacher training colleges, to all the other TVET institutions, to our senior schools, junior schools, primary schools, and all the others. You have our very best wishes. I did ask the Teachers Service Commission last year as a commitment that we promote every teacher that participated in our art and creatives. And I want to commend the Teacher Service Commission. They have promoted 1,000 teachers as a demonstration of our appreciation of what they are doing, even when this was considered some extracurricular activity. So, asanteni sana. To the great people of Bungoma, I will come back here for other issues. You know very well, outside State Lodge here, we are building a smart city. And I have instructed the Ministry of Housing that that smart city, originally it was designed to be 14 floors. I have said it should be redesigned so that it is 24 floors. And to make sure that we can accommodate more people, because we are not only building a smart city here, we are building a complete, city development with proper shopping spaces, medical facilities, commercial spaces, learning spaces, spaces for medical attention, and many other things. And we are not just doing that in Bungoma. We are doing it in every part of the Republic of Kenya. Because we must learn as Kenyans to believe in ourselves, and we must learn how every part of this republic is as important. Mimi nawauliza ndugu zangu wa Kenya, tujue ya kwamba usawa ni kitu ya muhimu. Kila sehemu ya Kenya, Mandera, Kisumu, Bungoma, Eldoret, Kiambu, Mombasa, kila sehemu ya Kenya ni ya muhimu. Na ndio sababu hiyo mimi nasema tutaendelea na kuunganisha wananchi wote wa taifa letu la Kenya, na tutaendelea kuhakikisha ya kwamba hakuna sehemu ya Kenya inawachwa nyuma na hakuna watoto wa Kenya wanawachwa nyuma. Asanteni sana. May God bless our children, our teachers, parents, and the creative spirit of our people and the great Republic of Kenya that we all belong. Asanteni sana. Thank you.
Another round of applause for His Excellency. Tumpigie makofi tafadhali. Thank you, Your Excellency. Amecheza kama yeye. Amewekelea mawe. Tukiketi ni waulize bag ni ya nini? Let us kindly take our seats. Your Excellency, we only have one more activity to do before, with your permission, so that we end, and it's the award ceremony. We have 15 awards to be given out, Your Excellency, and with your permission, we request that you give the first 5, then we'll have the honor of Her Excellency, the First Lady, to do the next 5, and finally the last 5 to be done by His Excellency, the Deputy President, if that is okay, Your Excellency. So we may proceed, and I'll request that we start with the award ceremony, where we shall have the first award is to the best pre-primary school, and the winner is none other than Moi Forces Academy, Nairobi. Wapi makofi yao tafadhali tuje. Your Excellency, with your permission, if you can come and give the first 5 of the awards. Kindly bring the first award. Let's have the representative of the school with 2 students, and the sponsor for this particular award is Honorable Ken Lusaka. Governor, you may also come and be part of the photo opportunity for this particular one. Makofi kwao tafadhali. This is Best Pre-Primary School, and the winner here is Moi Forces Academy, Nairobi. Let's have into ready the Best Primary School, which is Aga Khan Academy, Mombasa, to be ready for that. Makofi kwa hiyo award, as the wonderful student there holds it. Next, Your Excellency, we have the Best Primary School, which is Aga Khan Academy, Mombasa. Tuwapigie makofi, and the sponsor for this is Equity Group. So let's have somebody representing Equity Group as well to come and receive this award. This is Best Primary School. The third award is going to be Best Special Needs Education. We're ready with that? Okay. Wow, wonderful, wonderful. Thank you, Your Excellency. The third award is Best Special Needs Education, and this is Kayonzo Special School. The trophy is sponsored by KICD. So if we can have somebody from KICD as a representative. Haya, makofi wakishikilia ile trophy. Wonderful. The fourth award is Best Junior School, and this is Nzoia Sugar. Nzoia Sugar, makofi kwao. The trophy is sponsored by PSC, Public Service Commission. Wonderful. Wonderful, wonderful. And the last trophy to be awarded by His Excellency the President will be Best Special Needs Education Junior School, which is Mwihomo Special School. Makofi kwao, and this has been sponsored by CBK. I think I also did see the CBK governor around, so kindly, if you can come on stage so that we can have you represent Central Bank of Kenya as the due sponsor for this particular trophy. Wonderful. Thank you, Your Excellency. With your permission, may we have Her Excellency, the First Lady, to come and do the next 5 awards. And as she is coming, the next award is Best Senior School, which is Bunyore Girls. Bunyore Girls. This trophy is sponsored by Alupe University. So we'll need a representative of Alupe to be present to receive this award. Or to present the award, rather. Wonderful. Aya basi, picha ndio hiyo. Number 7 is Best Special Needs Education Senior School, and this has been won by Muranga School for the hearing impaired. It's written HI. I hope I've got that right. Hearing impaired, and it's sponsored by KUCCPS. Coops. Tuwapigie makofi tafadhali. Best Special Needs Education Senior School, won by Muranga School for the hearing impaired. Beautiful, beautiful. The next is Best Teachers Training Center. Kitui Teachers Training Center is the winner. Best Teachers Training Center, Kitui Teachers Training Center, and the trophy is sponsored by Amref. Please proceed. That is Best Teachers Training Center. The next award will be Best National Polytechnic, and the winner is Eldoret National Polytechnic. Makofi kwao. The trophy is sponsored by Brook East Africa. Wonderful. And the last trophy for Her Excellency, the First Lady, Best University. And this is won by Kenyatta University. Kenyatta University, and the sponsor is Brook East Africa. Wonderful. Great. Wonderful. Thank you, Your Excellency, the First Lady. Kindly, Your Excellency, the Deputy President, if you may, kindly award the next 5. And the next, number 11, is Best Teachers Club and Choir, won by Coast Teachers Choir. Coast Teachers Choir, and the sponsor is TSC, Teachers Service Commission. The next one we have is Best Educational Institutional Staff Choir, won by Kenya Institute of Curriculum Development, KICD, and the sponsor is Paul Odeo, Farmer's Choice, who is going to be representing Farmer's Choice as the sponsor. This is Best Educational Institutional Staff Choir. Makofi kwao tafadhali. Wonderful. And the next is the Best Vocational Training Center, won by Mtongwe VTC. Makofi ya Mtongwe VTC, and the trophy is sponsored by HELB. So if we can have them come on stage. Congratulations right there. The next award is Best County, and this has been won by Nairobi County. The sponsor is KMF, Kenya Music Festival. We remember the young girl that gave us a wonderful dance right here. And the young man that spoke in fluent Kiluya. Makofi kwao tafadhali. The last trophy for us to present today is Best Region, and this has been won predictably by Western. Western. Wamepateko kakitu bwana. Sponsored by KWS. Kenya Wildlife Service. Thank you. Thank you, Your Excellency, Deputy President. That brings us to the end of this session. We've come to the end of our session today. I'll now, with your permission, Your Excellency, request that we all be upstanding as we finish with the national anthem. The anthem. And that brings us to the end of our session. We'll allow His Excellency to proceed for lunch, and the rest of us will follow. Do have yourselves a wonderful DJ.